Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, wherever you are in the world? When you're watching, I hope that this video finds you safe and happy and well for you and your family. Thank you again for your wonderful comments and your support of this channel. I want to tune in briefly to Sideshow Don. I do have a picture of him on my Facebook page that someone sent me, and it has the Sideshow Bob hair, and of course with his face in between it. It's quite funny. If I can find it, I'll post it out, or I might even put it as the picture on this video, perhaps. All right, so knowing that we're only going to be sitting in this crazy energy for a few more weeks before the Biden-Harris inauguration. So no matter what happens between now and then, that's what you need to know. There will be other events around that inauguration, such as the havoc that the pandemic is wreaking for all of us, the ongoing recession, all of those things that we need to manage. And there could be some unexpectedness around those things. We are still in this cycle that we've been in 2020. But of course, on the 21st of December 2020, and there's a lot in that numerology about network strengthening and about the self being very healthy within those networks. We have Jupiter moving into Aquarius, and we have this new era where we can have, I think, where we'll see innovation breakthroughs, and this will go also for the individual as well as for the collective. But for now, we're sitting in Sideshow Don's energy, and just know it's not going to be for that much longer. All right. Over the weekend, viewers sent me links to an article written that the chaos that Sideshow Don is trying to generate, the circus, the very damaging, perilous circus-like atmosphere putting on this show that he is doing at the moment, is to try and wreak as much havoc and cause as much chaos as he can to finally cut a deal with either the incoming administration or others. And the idea here would be to hold firm and call his bluff, because we know that he's just losing at every turn. And I have to say, Republicans in the state are showing far more backbone, spine, and fortitude than the federal Republican senators. All right. Know that somebody will be replacing Trump as a leader of the Republican Party. We'll read on that later on. But this time is very critical. We know that the Republican senators didn't hold Sideshow Don to account, and it cost them an election, may even cost them the Georgia runoff. So they don't have a very good track record of winning because they're supporting Sideshow Don, do they? Certainly not at the federal level. So let's have a look. Is Trump sowing these seeds of chaos to hold out for a deal? Show me clearly, please. Okay, somebody's touching my hair now. So Spirit is definitely around me. Is I was going to say somebody there. Well, we know somebody's there. Is Sideshow Don holding out or trying to navigate towards some kind of immunity from prosecution? Is Trump trying to navigate towards some kind of immunity from prosecution? So I'm seeing a judge here. It's actually Trump sitting in the judge's cloak and writing something out, which is interesting because they've seated so many judges at various levels in your district, federal courts. That could be what I'm seeing, that in stacking those courts, he's hoping to get his immunity that way. Now, Biden has already said quite firmly he will not pardon Trump. And we know that Letitia James is coming for him. There are various posts on Twitter going around saying there are, up to 67 sealed indictments on Trump. That's not corroborated in mainstream media. But we do know that the state of New York is coming for Trump and the Trump organization and possibly the Trump children. So let's have a look. Is Sideshow Don trying to cut some kind of legal deal for immunity for crimes committed while in office? Any possible crimes, any and all crimes committed? Let's just leave it at that. Is he trying to cut a deal for political immunity? Legal immunity, I meant. All right, so we've got the Chariot card coming out. I'll bring the laptop down so you can see these cards. I'm using my Golden Tarot for those that, follow that. The Chariot card is the signifier card. He is working very quickly on something. The Chariot, it talks about speed. It talks about trying to start something new. He's challenged by the 8 of coins. So there is a element here to do with how he's made his money that will slow him down. And, also money is power, and we know that he has significant debt. This could even be his money laundering as well, which might already be, we haven't checked in with Cy Vance's investigation. That could be, this money laundering is what is screaming at me. So, they're the signifier cards. He's working hard on something to make a getaway, because that's what the Chariot card seems to be saying. The Wheel of Fortune as the foundation to the reading. He's wanting prosperity. And again, money is power. The 10 of Cups is my card for the voter. It's in the past, so we know he's lost the election. He's trying to do something now. I've said in the past that there's something around money here that will trip him up, either the violations of the emoluments clause or even something more diabolical is what is going to trip him up. But this is to do with his fortune. This is to do with how he makes his money. The 6 of Swords, he wants to move on. He has no interest in still remaining as the president. Let's be clear about that. He's off golfing most days, and this is about setting himself up for life after the presidency. That's what he's working on now in your time and at the world's expense. He's checked out, basically, from any real duties of presidency. It is all about the money. He wants a new start. His money, I think it's around his organisation. That's where he's worried. He's worried about how he's made money, and he wants to keep on making money post-presidency. But I asked about a deal. Right now he's got a plan, and this is a plan for when he leaves office. He wants cards stacked in his favour. The 2 of Wands, there is a plan there, and there's some kind of waiting for that to play out with that 2 of Wands. It's a plan that comes to fruition in time. There's definitely something here. He fears judgment, absolutely, fears prosecution, fears going to jail, fears who's going to come after him, because he has a lot of enemies. The Emperor card, control. He wants to retain control. That is the presidency. but it's sitting here with the Six of Swords. You know, I think he's going to stage a sit-in. I feel that he is, well, let's pull some clarifying cards. The Emperor, he is absolutely trying to evade justice. He wants to control justice. And the Six of Swords is the potential. It's what's crowning this reading. A potential future for him is moving out of troubled waters. But it couldn't be clearer. He is so anxious, so worried. These are the outcome cards. We have the Emperor, staying in power, controlling what? Justice, controlling what is going to be his fate, controlling future legal moves. And this is him. It's what he's most worried about. So he wants a new start and he wants to keep money. This is all around the Ace of Coins. So yes, he is looking at this. And I think, you know, the way I started this reading is he deliberately causing this chaos, deliberately causing this anxiety? It appears so. It appears he is. He has a plan up his sleeve to evade justice. Let's just put it like that. But he lost. He lost. Now here we have the courts. This is my card for the courts. It's also for the Republican senators. And it's matched with the devil card, which is that literally when we're reading on Sideshow Don and we're talking about the devil, certainly that devil energy, obsession, chaining others to him. These are the senators, the Republican senators. Now we have the Ten of Swords. It's likely the long game or the end game that Joe Biden is playing is that people will slowly move away from him. This is what Trump fears. That Ides of March type of scenario. Being left out, loss, and losing money. So this is where he's at the moment. He's clinging to the last vestiges of a lame duck presidency, trying to sow chaos. One of the reasons, yes, it is to make money. Yes, it is to cover up the money trail, I feel, but it's also to evade justice in some way. So let's have a look at what the Republican Party plans. Only two senators. I think Liz Cheney now has come out and said, well, if there's evidence, you better put up or shut up. I think Senator Marsha Blackburn, we know the usual players, called Joe Biden president-elect and then recanted it. Sass and Romney have congratulated and urged Trump to move on. Chris Christie, a close ally, today or over the weekend has come out and said he has no evidence. He needs to concede. So yes, Republicans are falling into line as President-elect Biden said they would. But let's see. Are Republicans, I think January the 5th, the Georgia runoff is critical. Are Republican senators, the hierarchy, the current hierarchy? What I'm getting is the Republican, and this isn't a reading on the Republican Party, we'll do that later, but they are split. So you've got those that are, it could be that the Republican Party will split. Those that are with Trump will go with him in some way, and there are those that aren't with him, that want to move on from him and are now thinking about who leads the Republican Party post-Trump. Trump knows this. Again, this is where the Ace of Coins, he wants to retain control of that party. So let's have a look. Will the Republican Party be able to unchain themselves from Trump and concede, urge him to concede? Show me these Republican usual players. Will they abandon Trump? Will they throw him off or throw him away? So January the 5th is the key date. We've got the Chariot. Again, that's, that's that yes energy. That's that moving on. And moving on quickly. And they're challenged by justice. Isn't that funny? Isn't that just funny? Trump is taking them on a ride, and the challenge to the Chariot energy is justice, which means that it's a rocky ride for these Republicans. The Knight of Cups, though, is in the foundation of the It's the foundation of the reading. This can sometimes be a very superficial energy. Trump wooing his base. It's that kind of energy is what is the foundation of this reading. The Knight of Swords, though, this is the quickest, I think, in some ways, the most, this knight carried the most, I guess, not truthful, but this is a harsh truth that has been brought forward. The knight holds that Ace of Swords, and she is not afraid to use it. So they've had to confront some very harsh truths in the past as a result of this election. What's crowning this reading is they want a new start. They absolutely want a new start, and that is away from Trump. January the 5th. In the immediate future is the Three of Coins. They're getting pressured from their big money donors. This is dark money in politics. Those that understand that what Trump is doing is actually hurting their business or, I guess, interests. If America goes down in flames, so do these donors. So they're putting the pressure on the Republican Party. The Eight of Coins, in the here and now. It's around the money, isn't it? And defending themselves with this Seven of Wands. Okay, so they're getting huge pressure. What Trump's done, Sideshow Don, what he's done with Republican donations, it's really, he takes 30% or he takes 70% and gives 30% to them. It's that kind of thing. They're having to defend. It would be interesting to be a fly on the wall. The Knight of Coins, in the hopes and fears. They're worried that if they split from him, it's a financial thing. It's always a financial thing. Death card at the end. In the outcome position. They're going to cut ties at the right time and start again away from Trump. They're probably setting things up now so that he has no fundraising kind of capacity within the Republican Party. Rona McDaniels is up for re-election in January. That will be interesting. I feel post-runoff things will completely change. So it is almost like as much as Trump has fleeced the taxpayer at every level, he's also fleecing the Republican Party, and they don't like it. They don't want. It's the end of their help for him. Okay, here we go. These are in the outcome positions. Are they going to unchain themselves, cut him away? Once that runoff is finished, you'll see them moving completely away from him. His power goes as the emperor. And we've got this kind of very reduced new start. This is only a page. It's not a king, not a queen. There's going to be massive changes there for them. They're wanting to come back to the past, and we have the trickster here as well. And we've got the new start. So they'll be trying to work out. They could even put a female. They could even put we've got the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands here. They could even put a female in charge. They've abused their power. They're going to have to. They're challenged by justice. There's a death card there at the end. They will completely abandon. But there's a financial entanglement here. They're getting huge pressure from their donors as well. Very interesting. All right. Let's just finish with, because I don't want this to be too long today, I've got an appointment to get to. I'm going to finish with my Gypsy cards. They are a Hungarian Gypsy card pack. They're not in wide circulation. Oh, sorry, that's the Lenormand. I don't want to use those. It is, oh, here they are. Sorry. Okay, so this is the Gypsy, I can't even pronounce that. That's the cover. They're a Hungarian Gypsy card. They're not, I found them at some bazaar, tied away with cobwebs on the pack. They may be still available, but I'm not sure where. You'd have to do your own digging around. Okay, they're interesting though. So let's have a look. They can be quite lively. All right, so we've got the death card, the end of the arrangement with Trump for the Republicans. All right, will he splinter off and form his own? How's this going to end? Okay, so we've got the sadness. It's going to end in sadness. All right, let's bring the laptop down because these are fun. Okay, so we've got sadness. How's this going to end? It's almost like a mourning. A lot of introspection. Is Trump going to split off from the Republican Party eventually? Once he's no longer in power, will he just be too much for them? They really don't want his brand. They don't want to become part of his brand. There's a lot of loss here for Republicans in the wash-up. All right, will the Republicans will Trump try and form his own kind of political organisation? Oh, something else came out. The Fiend, the enemy. Okay, this is like perfect, isn't it? Anger. Wow. Okay, so Trump is the enemy now, not only of the US and everyone else, but also the potentially Republicans who do not support him, and he's furious as well, and they're furious as well. So there's a great deal of introspection. It's easy to get carried away with his latest bit of chaos. I have resisted that. I urge you to as well. Know that Biden-Harris will be inaugurated. Don't give in to the fear-mongering. But we see here for the Republican Party, these aren't good cards. Sadness, they're dealing with the enemy. He is angry, and so are they at various levels, and there's some real thought as to how they're going to free themselves from him. So let's have a look at... So Trump will do anything at this stage, and he is thinking about all of his options. All right, so let's clearly ask, will Trump form his own political party? Will Trump form his own political party? Will Trump form... No, I don't think so. It would be too hard for him. But we've got the lover. It's more likely he will try and split the Republican Party, create now jealousy. There's two sides, ones that want to go with Trump, ones that don't. And the battle is all about the money here. He wants to keep... And there's a judge here. So it could end up that Republicans are in court in some way with Trump now, because this is the judge. Isn't that interesting? He could take them to court for to continue to support him in some way. Funding his legal battles is where it's at. Okay. Yeah, it's all about the money with Trump now for the Republican Party. So I don't think he will form his own party. Official officer and fortune. He wants to stay as the leader of the Republican Party, but that I don't think is going to happen. It could come down to court cases over money and data, as I see it. All right, so let's just have a look. Is he going to do any real damage to the electoral system before he goes? Is Trump going to do any real damage to the electoral system before the inauguration? Is Trump going to do any real damage to the electoral system before the inauguration? Okay, so we've got loss. No, he has lost. He doesn't have that power. He has lost. It is a game of cards. He is losing. He is going to lose. The enemy. He is the enemy. And we've got a message. That's interesting. A message. What is that message about? Okay, we've got a loss here. Death, widow. We've got a message coming through. And constancy. Okay, so that's a good card. That's for us to stay firm. Let's see what this message is. Let's have a look, and then we'll leave it at that because I do have to go. Okay, we've got a message here. What's this message? What is this message? Let's give these a bit of a shuffle. This message around Trump. Something's breaking around money here. There is more tawdry news to come, I feel. And there's a big war going to happen between Trump and the Republican Party over money, over control. That's coming, and it will come post January the 5th, the runoff. All right, so it's coming. All right, so message. What's this message around Trump? This message to do with money around Trump. Marriage. Okay, his marriage is in trouble. Death. There's a split coming between Trump and Melania. There's also a split card. That's what the widow card was doing there. There's a split potentially coming between him and the Republican Party, and some kind of real, there's illness there, real sickness around what state fidelity the Trump leaves falseness here. I'm just getting a big pull back to his marriage. Okay, so the split's all round for Trump. His marriage is over, and we will hear about it in the not too distant future. The relationship between he and the Republican Party, it's a financial relationship that he will try and maintain, and they are going to push back, and you wait for it. You could see the Republicans in court with Trump. All right, I'm going to leave it there. That's enough on him, and I'll be back with another reading soon, particularly around the eclipse periods, which is November the 30th. We've got an eclipse, partial eclipse in Gemini, and that will be interesting to look, because even though it's chaotic and you can be fearful of the times, there's much to be anticipated as well. And all Sideshow's done is make us look at him and not look at what we need to look at. But there is a new president coming in January. Absolutely there is. All right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll be back again with another reading again soon. Thank you again, viewers. Thank you.